Hamas is an Islamist militant movement that has controlled the Gaza Strip for nearly 2 decades. It violently rejects the existence of Israel, which it claims is occupying Palestine. In October 2023, Hamas attacked southern Israel, killing nearly 1,200 people and taking more than 200 hostages. In response, Israel declared a war aimed at eradicating the group. The conflict has killed nearly 40,000 people as of July 2024, according to Palestinian officials in Gaza. Dozens of countries, including the United States, have designated Hamas a terrorist organization over the years, though some apply this label only to its military wing. The United States has pledged billions of dollars in new military aid since the Israel-Hamas war began and remains Israel's top weight. Hamas's most important ally in the region is Iran, but it has also received significant financial and political support from Turkey. Qatar hosts the Hamas political office and also provides it with financial resources, though with the knowledge and cooperation of the Israeli government. Hamas is meanwhile one component of Iran's so-called Axis of Resistance, a regional network of anti-Israel partners that includes Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Lebanon's Hezbollah, Yemen's Houthis, and various militias in Iraq and Syria. Given these connections, many security experts fear that the Israel-Hamas war could engulf the region in a wider conflict. Hamas's rival party, Fatah, which dominates the Palestinian Authority and rules in the West Bank, has formally renounced violence, though it has not always upheld that vow in times of high Israeli-Palestinian tensions. The split in Palestinian leadership and Hamas's unwavering hostility toward Israel diminished prospects for stability in Gaza ahead of the ongoing war, which has only cast the territory into further despair. What are the group's origins? Daily News Brief. A summary of global news developments with CFR analysis delivered to your inbox each morning, weekdays. View all newsletters. Hamas, an acronym for Harakat al-Muqawama al-Islamiyya, Islamic Resistance Movement, was founded by Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, a Palestinian cleric who became an activist in local branches of the Muslim Brotherhood after dedicating his early life to Islamic scholarship in Cairo. Beginning in the late 1960s, Yassin preached and performed charitable work in the West Bank and Gaza, both of which Israel occupied following the 1967 Six-Day War. Yassin established Hamas as the Brotherhood's political arm in Gaza in December 1987, following the outbreak of the First Intifada, a Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation of the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem. At the time, Hamas's purpose was to engage in violence against Israelis as a means of restoring Palestinian backing for the Brotherhood, which was losing political support to Palestinian Islamic Jihad (PIJ), a Gaza-based, Iran-sponsored organization that had begun pursuing terrorist operations against Israel. Hamas published its charter in 1988, calling for the murder of Jews, the destruction of Israel, and in Israel's place, the establishment of an Islamic society in historic Palestine. In what observers called an attempt to moderate its image, Hamas presented a new document PDF in 2017 that removed explicit references to killing Jews but still refused to recognize Israel. The revised charter also hinted that Hamas could accept a future Palestinian state along the borders established before the Six-Day War, which are generally recognized internationally as the borders of the West Bank and Gaza. The new document says only that the matter should depend on national consensus. Hamas first employed suicide bombing in April 1993, 5 months before Palestine Liberation Organization PLO leader Yasser Arafat and Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin signed the Oslo Accords. The historic pact established limited self-government for parts of the West Bank and Gaza under a newly created entity called the Palestinian Authority (PA). Hamas condemned the accords, as well as the PLO's and Israel's recognition of each other, which Arafat and Rabin officially agreed to in letters sent days before Oslo. In 1997, the United States designated Hamas a foreign terrorist organization. The movement went on to spearhead violent resistance during the Second Intifada in the early 2000s, though PIJ and Fatah's Tanzim militia were also responsible for violence against Israelis. Who are its leaders? Hamas has a host of leadership bodies that perform various political, military, and social functions. General policy is set by an overarching consultative body, often called the Politburo, which operates in exile. Local committees manage grassroots issues in Gaza and the West Bank. Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh. Iran has claimed that the assassination of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran earlier this week was carried out by a short-range projectile and a severe explosion outside a guest house where he was staying. The death of the Hamas leader further heightened tensions at an already volatile time, raising fears that Israel's conflict with Hamas and its allies could develop into a multi-front, fully-fledged war in the Middle East. Next leaders on Yahya Sinwar, Khalid Meshal, and Commander Mohammed Deif. Israel has targeted top Hamas officials since the movement was founded in the late 1980s. Israeli forces killed Sheikh Ahmad Yassin, Hamas's founder, in 2004. In recent months, the war in Gaza has once again thrown the group's leadership into disarray, as several of its high-ranking members have been killed. Ismail Haniyeh, who served as political chief since 2017, was killed in a suspected Israeli bombing in Tehran in July 2024. Israel also killed Hamas's military leader, Mohammed Deif, in a strike on the southern Gaza city Khan Yunis in the weeks prior. An Israeli airstrike killed Marwan, Deif's deputy, in central Gaza in March. End this video and thanks for watching.